Okay, so here we are. Ah, so I'd love to hear from everyone. First of all, this is maybe a silly question at this point, but does everybody have a raise hand feature on their Zoom? And if you don't have a raise hand, maybe raise your hand. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Can you give a thumbs up if you have a raise hand? Yeah, okay. Good, good. So for some reason it's not appearing on my screen. So okay. Well, I'd love to hear from everyone and just get a sense of what your experience was, your insights, your revelations, um, your takeaways from this experience. Um, So yeah, maybe we can I'll just open it up to anybody who wants to speak or share.
Okay, I'll share.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so it was a lot of clearing happened for me on the second day for today, and more clarity after the pointers that you and Lila have given us. Um, yeah, it just opened up the truth, like or at least the false of what I thought was the truth. Um, that was very, very helpful.
Mm. Awesome.
I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful, yeah, for the whole everybody here.
Mhm.
We're holding the space.
Mhm.
It was amazing, honestly, amazing time. Uh, really wanted to be we do that more often if possible, because
Mhm.
I can see the benefit essentially. Uh, Especially when we do diet often, sometimes I see in myself that I got caught up in believing the false, and I continued with that for far too long. So if I had, I think, I mean, it's good because everything is always good, but I
Mhm.
think having like a reset or a point in time where we can exchange and see where we're at, it's very helpful. And today I feel even more motivated to moving forward the next dyads I'm going to do with my partner. It's going to be more fruitful,
Mhm.
if I may say. So
Uh,
thank you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would we actually talked a bit about it and yeah, I feel like it would be a great thing to do this more regularly. For the facilitators and also I have an IM app that's in the works. So eventually it's going to be just an ongoing thing, like anytime. You'll be able to get a dyad partner. But yeah, I agree. And that's wonderful that you're going to bring it into the your relationship as well. It's really powerful. And even if you're not doing formal dyads, like Charles Berner taught a clearing process as well, which is essentially the same method. But it's incredible for relationships. It's really for whatever's coming up in a relationship, that clearing process. Maybe I'll just share the process because it's really simple and like of all the things you can bring into a relationship, this is probably one of the most important because in relationships, when we communicate, usually there is, somebody brings something up to be said, and there's usually some sort of evaluation of what is said within the conditioned mind, so that when we evaluate what someone says, it keeps this back and forth on the level of the character. But the way this clearing works is that if you can sort of work, like tell your partner about this, and then, when something comes up, then you can say, let's clear this. Let's go into a clearing practice rather than just engaging in this back and forth evaluation of what's being said. So when you go into the clearing process, the one person just becomes a witness, so the intention is to just be completely present, neutral, exactly like the witness in the dyads, and just listen to the partner. It's incredible that we don't do that as human beings. But it's so rare to not respond, not evaluate what's being said. And it's so powerful to be witnessed completely, to have a full, complete communication of whatever's coming up. And then you just say thank you, um and it doesn't mean, that, like, sometimes what's coming up, there could be a sort of bypassing in this process if we're not both receptive. So, like, sometimes what's coming up is, like, you're involved in it. It might be something about you that's coming up, which makes this more challenging in a relationship. When you're in a dyad, it's not usually about you. You're not being criticized or anything. So this makes it really more challenging in a relationship. Um, but it allows for everything to be heard. And the key, I think, to this is when you're sharing, or when one person is sharing, they're not saying what's coming up as if it's true. So when you share it, you just say, this is what's coming up in my mind right now. This is what the mind is generating. This may or may not be true. Who knows? But this is what is actually coming up in this moment. So, you leave the dishes out every day, and I feel like I'm not being honored. I feel like I'm, um, whatever the mind is coming up with. But we do it in a way where we're not identified with it, so the emotional charge isn't there. It's just reporting on what is coming up in the mind, or the body, the emotions, whatever's coming up. We can authentically share that, have it witnessed, and yeah, we can clear it from our relationships. So, Lila and I do this on an ongoing basis, and it's really powerful. Like, we do the dyads as well. We're doing that quite frequently, but sometimes things will come up in the relationship, and we just say, okay, I've got something that I need to clear. This is what's coming up right now, and just do it.
Just to follow up on that,
Mhm.
if I may. So is it like there's a kind of agreement then that whatever is shared, we do not bring it back outside of that safe space? Is
Yeah,
that how it works?
yeah, yeah, like, you agree to engage in the clearing process. So the agreement is that, one person will witness and not evaluate or judge what's being said. And because it's being brought forth in a way where it's like, this is just what my mind is thinking, or these are just the feelings that are coming up. It's not something that can be really argued with. It's just what's happening. This is actually what's authentically coming up within the mind body right now. So it's the claim isn't that this is true, like you're a bad person or something like that. It's like, maybe the mind is coming up with a thought of that, but we're not enforcing or claiming that we believe that or identifying with that.
Okay, thank you. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah. So any other experiences or insights? I love it when wisdom starts to come through. Like, I've witnessed so many incredible dyads. Alex, yeah. Oh, I gotta unmute you here. You're muted there. There you
Okay, okay. Well, couple of questions and a technical comment as well. Um, well, first of all, I had a grounding, revealing experience in one of the dyads as a confirmation of um, something that I've been uh, experiencing, living for a while, and through your poking and your inquiring, it kind of became obvious that it was real in a way. So that was yesterday, and even today in the morning. I mean, the fact of directly inquiring into who am I, it's much more automatic and readily available. It's like a little arrow now, ping, it's there.
Mhm.
Before, in order for me to get into this grounding and experiencing what it was discussed in the diet, the presence and the aliveness of the environment and reality, took a while. It took a grounding and a contemplation to get there. And I noticed after that relief of your kind of confirmation, there is an advancement, and I mean, it's fantastic. It's something, a weight of the little character shoulder. But anyways, but that was awesome. Another thing that I need your opinion, because it's something that it was very incredible too. Is it's not said in the manual of the dyads, but basically, when I'm a witness, I intend to, at times, whenever I can, whenever I get to a moment of actually grounding in the very moment, feeling that I'm present with this person in front of me, kind of opening my chest, like uh, projecting good vibes, love, and openness. Uh, I did it just to reinforce the fact that I'm present there as a witness. And at the very moment that I'm doing that, in 4 occasions, 4 different dyads, the reporting on the other side was I'm feeling an increase energy and this and that. So, is it coincidence? Is it just, or really we are that connected? Really, when we're doing this, because we are connected, we know, but could it be? I mean, it's nothing special that I'm doing. I mean, everybody can open the chest and you feel it. I feel it kind of expanding, and then on the other side, I get at the very moment, some kind of energetic experience.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
maybe we should include it in the diets if it is true. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it should be part of the witness,
Mm.
or maybe it's a detriment. I don't know.
Mm. Well, if it's happening, I think it's perfect. I think so from my perspective, what I see happening just from my own experience and with others is that there is just a natural synchronization or almost a revelation that starts to happen. You know, the deeper we go into our own samadhi, there's less of you and me. You know, there's less of self and other, and that energy is felt directly as one. You know, which like a savakalpa samadhi is a union with whatever your object of meditation is, or whatever's in front of you, whatever attention is on. There's that direct knowing of yourself as that. You become that. So, you know, when we work with different imperatives, like tell me what another is a good example. We can have a direct experience of actually being the other, you know, and sometimes that will happen just spontaneously as well. So, so I think that's a natural unfolding where there is, you know, it's just coming closer to the truth of what we are is, you know, the real, you know, it's funny that our natural state or just, you know, our normal everyday state is the state of separation. But but I think a truer state is that state of connection. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Finally, a little technical comment. Uh, I love you, Christopher and Jeffrey, but we did dyads about 5 times with each other. So, and I hear reporting of many people having the same experience. And I've been looking in Reddit and other places right now before this meeting, and it seems that it's an ongoing thing in Zoom. We're going to have an app, and we have to pay attention on the app about this as well. But as far as Zoom, there is one plugin that works only on Mozilla. So the person managing the group has to use Mozilla. For some reason, Chrome didn't include it, but it seems that it's an ongoing issue. Many people are reporting it, and
Mm.
you know, anyways,
Oh,
just to comment because it seems to be very repetitive, and I thought maybe perhaps changing our names in the middle of the dyads would make the algorithm restart, but I even read that doesn't solve it. So I don't know what criteria they use
yeah.
to group.
That's interesting because I noticed that it wasn't truly random or it seemed very strange that the same people were together. And I actually did shuffle people quite a few times, just manually. I just moved people here and there by my intuition. But it still seemed, I know I didn't do it enough probably because obviously enough people ended up together again. So yeah, okay, that's good.
Well,
we'll talk about that Mozilla thing and that'll be something in the future for sure. Yeah. Mhm.
thank you, Dan, and thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
That's awesome.
Great.
Thanks.
Awesome. Mhm.
I'd love to comment because some of the things I would like to say sort of follow on the thread of the conversation so far. I also ended up with a couple of folks that I saw quite a bit, but they were delightful. So I don't want to, yeah, that was wonderful. And at the same time, there were a few folks here for sure that I didn't get to dyad with at all. And I kind of kept thinking, oh, maybe tomorrow, you know. So, but yeah, I'm just very grateful. The repeat performances I had were just divine. And yeah, it's to say also, I noticed in a very, very profound way that the intensity and the dedication or devotion or some kind of energy that would be coming off the witness that would in a witness that was really, really fixated on the partner, that this was so amazing. I mean, it was very palpable. Um, certain witnesses were just so devoted. I don't know how to put it, but it was such a synergy, and so you know, continuing to develop the ability to be a really good witness for me is going to be a real purposeful effort on my part, as much as anything I do can actually be done, let's say, because I see how incredibly useful it is for the other person. It's just, and I mean, there was a couple of dyads I was in that towards, as we would swap out turns, I wouldn't even remember if I had been the witness or if I had been the inquiry. I wasn't sure what happened next, literally, because it was such an effective dyad. So yeah, just want to throw that out there for little mind candy for folks that have some intention to do it a little differently. And to thank those people, and most of the ones that are here that I worked with will know that, who they are, that for being such intensely beautiful and riveting, riveting witnesses. And I'm so grateful for that. And the Charles Burner method you just discussed, Dan, I looked it up quickly on the internet, and there was a link to something, so that that's something we can look up and investigate if there's any interest in that. But Katrina and I have actually been doing dyads together 4 or 5 days a week for the last 4.5, almost 5 months now, and she and I started developing exactly what you're talking about, just organically within the relationship of doing these dyads together, with the added interest in just wanting to get to know each other as people. We would notice that our conversations were like turning into dyads, like synchronistically. We would just be able to communicate with each other with that strong witness potential and that desire to really know and understand. We even would discuss a little bit about being willing to speak with each other if we felt like we had a trigger and bring that to the other's attention. So we had a lot of intentionality around it, but it just kind of also organically evolved into exactly what you're speaking about. And it was an amazing, created an amazing friendship very quickly. Yeah, and a deep intention to be very, very thoughtful of each other. So I just
Beautiful.
mentioned.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the realm of insights, I'd love to say, so I learned a lot from dyading with Lilla, and I can't really say why or what happened or how, or, but her presence with actual present moment is very, very clear. And it helped anchor me there as well. And so the insight that came the first day and then was so beautifully played out towards the second day was that whatever's coming up it is okay. It's okay. And there were a couple of sort of slightly uncomfortable moments of making loud noises or saying unusual things or whatever it was, and kind of crazy chaotic a little bit in the first few dyads, but it was such a beautiful clearing process. That all needed to be said and done. That had to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just happened so spontaneously and so like kind of erratically and kind of crazily a little bit, but it felt very natural, and it wasn't like the mind was saying, "Oh, you're putting this show on," or something, like, which was so fucking ridiculous. I mean, it was so clearly not that to hear the mind try to say that, it was a great opportunity to again catch the mind being the jerk that it can be, but trying still. It's always just trying to be there, to help and like do what it does. But and then just to see, oh, it's just everything's just okay. All of it's okay. All of it's allowed. All of it matters in a not mattering kind of way. And yeah, just yeah, being at peace with all of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing how, like we hold this resistance from some incomplete experience, and then when it comes up, we resist the resistance.
Oh,
So
totally.
then we've got two parts of the mind in this battle, and so the mind is just constantly resisting itself, and the only way out of that conundrum is just to be okay with what is and realize
Yeah.
you're not any of that. You're just allow it. Just allow everything. Just it's radical. Yeah.
It really, really is. And until that moment of seeing how many different things could come up at once and be spoken and sound strange and odd, and just letting it all flow, is, I don't think I could have ever imagined that kind of thing could happen like that and be so dramatic and so clearing, so positively clearing. And then sleeping so deeply last night, not a lot, but just sleeping really hard, and then hitting it again this morning with so much more clarity. Still a little bit of tremoring and stuff happening a little bit, but yeah, just so grateful to carry that insight forward into some dyads this morning. Almost everyone that I had this morning, everyone I had this morning was, the intensity of the witness was just beautiful. And I'm just so grateful to everybody. I feel like a family now, and I'm so thankful. And I do hope we can, continue to do these every 6 months at least or something, whatever, because it's so radical. It felt quite radical, honestly.
Yeah, we will for sure. Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I wanted it to be over. The
Yeah.
character wanted it last night. And when I found we had one more, I thought, oh my God, I'm not, I can't stand it, but I did. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get to work with a few with you, but maybe next time we'll get that algorithm straightened out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Darren.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Lisa.
very much. And mostly for your encouragement. Of course, as fate would have it, it worked out exactly that I could be here. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you could make it. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Mhm.
Okay, I'll go next. First of all, thank you, Dan, for creating this opportunity for, I think most of us are facilitators, to really get to know each other, because we've been just hopping into different rooms, but we don't know everyone.
Yeah.
So it's been beautiful to connect with you guys and have you hold space for me. And the other thing is, your pointers, Dan and Lila, were so amazing. They clarify the questions. So one of my issues was this part where I'm in the aware, alive place, and then the other part where I'm waiting for something to happen. And it's so obvious which one it is. It's like that aware, alive place is full of nourishment. It's like the oasis, and the mind space is really dry. And resisting that dry place was very difficult. Created a crash of energy, but your pointer of just report what's happening, and then it helped to accept. So the lesson is just to accept everything as it comes up. And so I saw myself with this inner posture of being a hose, and all the water is rushing through. I'm not crimping it. I'm not like folding the hose anywhere. I'm not trying to filter the hose. I'm just staying open. And as I stay open, there's like discomfort in the body, and then it's reported, and there's embarrassment that's reported, and then the body just release a lot of things. The mind, the body, the emotions, the energetics, just it went crazy. Like I screamed, I cried, I shook, I quivered. There's a lot going on, and just witnessing myself trying to filter myself, trying to hold back, and just witnessing myself trying to hold back, and seeing that holding back crash the energy, and then just giving myself a second chance to let go. It just, everything just opened up. And so it showed me that that is the posture of life, is just to continually be okay with what is, not pushing away or not grasping. It's just being that bowl that just holds everything. And no matter what happens, no matter how horrible the sensations and the thoughts are, it's just relax into it. Just open. This is okay. This is okay. And in the okayness is that alive, nourishing place that I'm seeking from all these other things, like attention or love or appreciation, like all those things I'm seeking from the external world. As long as I stay open to what is, it's right here.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. And you were working with what quite a bit, weren't you? The whole time, or
Yeah, I think it was after the second person, I started working with what?
yeah. Yeah, so that, what you're describing is, like what really takes us into direct experience, with the infinite variety of experiences in life. And like the who and what sort of they're one, really. It's just being. It's just being, which is life itself. It is just what's arising. So the who and the what, um, as we deepen into direct experience, we allow these direct experiences to come and go. But it's all you. It's all just being itself. It's whatever is arising. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the lesson is just everything's okay because the character has a preference
Mhm.
to have glorious experiences and not to be stuck. And that's not always happening. And so it was very humbling just to, okay, that's what's happening now. And I don't have control over anything. The mind wants to think that it has control, but it's seen that it doesn't.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that controller, like the shift when we really come into um that understanding that I am awareness, or I'm just beingness itself, then we start to love that awareness. We literally love awareness more than the phenomena that is arising. And it's a different, it's an okayness with all of it, and an opening into this, you know, non-dual mystery, or whatever it is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then staying open to that aware, alive place is like plugging in the phone. It's like it's like the flower is taking in the sun, it's drinking in the nourishment, the real food.
Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Zay. Yeah. Thank you. Leif.
Hi, everybody, and thanks, everybody. My heart is filled with gratitude for all of you, particularly Dan and Lila. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Some of you I didn't work with, but I know we're all part of the same group here. Um, I have to tell you my experience. It was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. I was working with Janine. We were on the second round, and I'd found this place of conscious awareness throughout both days, and I was fine. It was content there. It was nice, but I knew there was something else. I just didn't know what. And I kept exploring different avenues to try to, get it to shake loose or whatever. And I started focusing or trying to think about the screen, projecting and imaging and what I was, who's the screen. And my eyes started tearing up, but I didn't feel anything. It just happened. Then all of a sudden it was like someone came up behind me and I was like a gong and someone just went boom and just rang me. And it was just boom, 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 energy up the whole body. And I started crying. I couldn't even open my eyes. It was unbelievable. I've never had an experience like that. It was real boom, this is it. And you were right, Dan, when you said you will know it when it happens, it just knocked my socks off. It took me, thank God we had lunch after that, because I literally had to calm down for like an hour just to kind of talk again. But it was so beautiful. And it's like, now I get it. Now I know that there is this energy field that's so powerful. It's all pervasive. And we just have to somehow tune into it. That's the mystery, Dan, and we'll talk more about that. But I thought I was going to be one of the people here that was just going to kind of skirt on through and just, okay, nothing's really going to change. But it worked. It totally worked for me. So I'm a total believer of diets now, and so pleased I got to work with you all because everyone was a part of it, and it's just the right conditions. It's just a matter of sitting here, and as much as it's uncomfortable sometimes, and you're not, you're like, what's next? Is anything next? Is this it? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just boom, home run. It was awesome. So thanks, everybody. I just want to share my gratitude. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Leif. Yeah, that's amazing. A beautiful, beautiful experience. And yeah, and so for me, one thing I'd love to share is on my path, I had something similar happen at a retreat as well. And one thing that I found so important, so the experience, the phenomena of that experience obviously is temporary. The experience is like, it's beautiful, it's a peak experience. But so we want to understand fully the one who was there, experiencing that experience. And it's the same one that will experience every experience in every facet of life, beautiful or, on the other end of the spectrum, there's total identification in the matrix, and the whole continuum of the matrix is that, on one end we have like a Savakalpa Samadhi, high energy merged with the one, experience. The other end, we have total suffering, and that's life. Life is that entire continuum. But the knower of that continuum, the one that is ever present, is us, is the true self. Yeah.
Right.
So that's beautiful. So the most important thing is when we have an experience like that, forget it. because the mind will try to get it back because it's so beautiful. And the more we can just be okay with experiences coming and going, the more of them we'll have. The more we grasp, this is the paradox, the more we grasp it, the quicker it disappears. So the more you can just be okay with whatever is that allows life to flow through.
As long as I know that it's available, it's there, I'm happy. It's like I tasted it. I got a sense of it, and that's enough. I'm pleased, and I'm just going to keep on walking down the road.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Juta? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
I just took all my courage together. First of all, thank you all. It was such an experience. And there were two things that surprised me, and I want to share that. One was the complete opposite of emotions, of feelings, of experience from one diet to the next. So one diet, the body was so tired that I said, I cannot, no, I have to go to bed. And the next diet, maybe with the same person, the body was completely awake and there was no sense of tiredness anymore. So what I've learned is, in one diet, I was clear and focused and I knew everything. And the next diet, it was so confused and I thought, I just talk nonsense. That it makes no sense what I'm saying there. Where does that come from? And thanks that I'm in a protected space where nobody's judging me because it seemed to be so weird. And so what I've learned by that is to ignore the body. When the body tells me, hey, I'm tired, I have to sleep, I say, okay, you may do that, but I simply don't listen to you because the next diet shows me that you're completely awake. And the other thing I realized was how much love I felt for the people I was in the diet with. So this became even more since yesterday to today. There was there was simply love for these people I didn't know. When we had shared this experience, and I did not always dare to say I love you, but I felt it, and that was a great gift. So thank you all, and I love you all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Laura, yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of clearing that has happened in the last 2 days. And it just occurred to me that I was chasing the experience. That was it. That was really it. And several times I realized that the experience is not that important. There was a sense of being here anyway. And so there was a sense of calmness in the body when that happens. So finally, I realized that I don't have to chase any experiences. And there was, yeah, so much has been cleared, and especially something really deep that was still ingrained. Thanks to your pointing as well. Yeah, and I'm ever so grateful to each and every one here in this community for doing this beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that of all the things that are important on the path, like not chasing experiences is huge. Yeah. Yeah. And we do it at all different levels as well. There are many, I've revisited that one so many times because there are these unconscious parts of our mind that that do recreate situations and experiences and relationships, even everything that this, it's a momentum of going after certain familiar things. And so it's an ongoing revelation to discover how the mind is always trying to recreate what it knows in these experiences. Yeah. Thank you. Sip. Yeah, I said,
Okay.
yeah.
So I really had a fun time. Um, I'm like a believer of the diet process now. It's so much easier than meditating for 2 days. Doing a diet process, so much easier, so much
Wow.
faster.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So yeah, I had a really good time, and everyone that I did a diet with was just fantastic. I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Cool.
And I was thinking like this, perhaps if we do too many Zoom processes, we should probably use some rosewater eye spray or something like that for the eyes, or Bates eye exercises, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the eyes can get very tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I just defocus the eyes and let them relax sometimes.
Oh,
So, yeah.
yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Thanks, Sid. Yeah, wonderful. Mhm. Uh, Jeff. Yeah.
Hi, I just want to start by expressing my gratitude to everyone, to Dan and Lilla for creating this space. For me, a couple of people mentioned it, there was a lot of clearing that was occurring. So that was a good experience for me. And I think it's more of a integration question, and it's somewhat tangentially related to the not chasing. And what I witnessed the mind doing in the microcosm of the dyad is, yeah, just like there's this preference for something that's other than what's being experienced in the moment. There's distractions and it doesn't want to be in the now because it considers it, a suboptimal experience, or something that is, yeah, like I would say suboptimal is the best way to describe it. Another way is just like a shitty experience. So, you know, I guess going out of the dyad microcosm and going into life, the macro experience, the true essence, which was experienced in the dyad, is, you know, equanimous. It's peaceful. It's happy with whatever is happening in that moment. And there's just a level of ease and peace, and that can be accessed, and the mind will come in and out of that experience. So taking that and going into reality, what any suggestions or recommendations about when we're actually in a suboptimal experience where something is actually shitty? And then, you know, there could be that mind coming in and saying, well, you know, we should be equanimous with whatever and everything's great just as it is. But then something is actually like, you know, you could be getting abused, or you could have like a really bad boss in a job that's not like so. And it's the analogy of a broken clock being right twice a day. How do we know that maybe this isn't just the mind complaining about something? So I don't know if that's clear.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally clear. I like, for me, a huge part of this path, I think, is, you know, when we do this work, we're, you know, the energy is starting to become free of the conditioned character. So, you know, a lot of us have had these energetic experiences, and that energy, you know, when it flows back into the character, you know, full of its preferences, it feels contracted. We feel the resistance in that energy. So when we are moving through life, you know, that's our compass. You know, is that energy constricted? Is it you know, or is am I flowing with what is? You know, it's like going down the river, you know, the current of the river, and I'm like controlling every little turn, you know, and fighting against the river, you know, or you know, I can feel the flow of the river. I'm aligning with the river, and it's like I'm learning to surf, you know, or to just go with it. And like for me, a big part of that was, um, you know, in meditation, like we just get greater sensory clarity as the more of this we do. So we're, you know, this rewiring process is, it's ongoing, and we start to be able to feel that current more directly. So for me, like, you know, doing years, you know, decades of Vipassana meditation was incredible to create that mind body connection, to be able to feel and kind of open to that current. And so when we're in those situations, you know, the energy can literally, you know, direct us in these situations. And I've had crazy experiences where the energy will just move in a certain way, and you know, it's not my little self contracting. Usually, when we're in fear, or we're in that reaction, whatever outcome comes from that is usually a continuation of that pattern. But you know, our capacity to actually feel that that flow and be okay with what is, you know, like even the labeling that, you know, this is a suboptimal, as you said, you know, situation. How do we know? You know, how do we, like, we can, you know, even that is, you know, it's always the little mind that is judging that. You know, like I may be crucified, you know, if I, like, you know, some people, you know, there's a whole continuum of challenges, right? Being crucified is probably on the highest end of the spectrum. So, but, you know, so my little self will say, this is a suboptimal situation, but maybe not, maybe there's a bigger plan here. Like whatever is arising, there's an intelligence to it. To truly drop the preferences in life and truly be okay with what there's a level of trust in that intelligence that is it's pretty radical. But I think the more we open to that energy, we start to feel the synchronicity and kind of like what Alex was describing with his partner, like whoever we're with, we start to feel that connection directly, and we can feel that in every aspect of life. So I don't know if that's really much of an answer, but I don't know. It's what it's coming through. So
No, it's definitely helpful. Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah. Yeah. So if there's no one else.
Yes.
Oh, Bjorn. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
I first want to say just thank you. Thank you to everyone that was with me in the diets as well. And to create this space. And yeah, and I also want to say like how much I love diets. It's such a incredible like clearing process. So it's it's a lot of gratitude to the diets itself. So and what I like got out of this is like this like the joy, the smile that comes so often in the process. There's so much wisdom behind it. It's showing me like how the smile itself makes things more clear to me. Like it's easier to be more curious and like all that. It's like very childlike thing. So and I had like a few insights through this weekend, and but like I wrote some of them down, like, but and it's also I recognized like how I was using the mind a lot to like in the whole process, not in the whole process, but like using the mind a lot, and it's there was a few insights, but I can't remember like everyone right now, but I'm just very grateful for everything, guys, and for you, Dan, to make this happen.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Some. So anybody else? Christopher.
I just want to thank everyone. And I think the biggest surprise was this morning waking up having not gone to sleep and having that same feeling awake.
That's
So
I
to
like
speak.
that. Waking up not having gone to sleep. That's
So and it just throws everything into a kind of a new perspective,
Mm.
at least for the mind, to deal with. That's its problem. But anyway,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
yeah, it was completely unexpected, and just
Mm.
maybe it helped. It starts at 3 a.m. for me, so being tired is the opportunity, perhaps.
Amazing. So there was, we would say, like a continuity of presence through
Yeah,
the night. Beautiful. Yeah, amazing.
it's
I, I
really
was I was going to ask if anybody was experiencing that. So yeah, thank you.
it certainly wasn't on my list. It was just happened.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you. Yeah, that Turia, or you know what that is to me is, like in the yogic world, it's considered to be extremely valuable, extremely important to have direct experience of that, because we know directly, having experienced that, if the mind and body have dropped off, we know we're not the mind and body, like there's in deep sleep, there's nothing, but yet there's this ground of being, this presence that is aware. So if we realize that, as what we are, um, then the body, all of life and death, come and go, but that remains, that's our, as they say in Zen, the original face before you were born, that's what we all have in common. So, yeah, thank you.
I was just going to briefly inquire as to whether or not you thought maybe in 2025 you'd start doing some in-person retreats again, or what your plans might be.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just, we really don't know. Where I right now, like there's a lot of energy going into our own sadhana, really. We've recreated our lives, Lila and I, and to really support an ongoing practice. And out of that, the next film is really coming as well. So there's going to be a period of time where, for me, that's going to be a focus. And yeah, it's like our practice. It's interesting. You know, it's sometimes I feel like life. They say life creates art, art creates life, and this film for me started out as all the stuff I knew about sadhana and practice, and creating a film, and then somehow are through grace, or through it was actually Lila that it's like her fire for liberation started to burn really strong, and that all the ideas I had about the film um got kind of dropped, and I went into my own practice, and now the real film is coming out of that, and yeah, and I have Lila to thank for that. And so we're really, for us now, it's about creating a life that really supports being present, like living in the open state, and not not falling back into the mind. And so this ongoing clearing, stabilizing in open awareness is, I feel, like the next stage of our path. So right now it doesn't feel right to put any template in place or any kind of structure around retreats. And that I feel like, if that comes, that'll be something that emerges down the road. But yeah.
Let's say that's the best answer I've ever heard.
Mm. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, everyone. You know, I really, the more I engage with these dyads, it really is such a beautiful practice. So you know, I love that many of you are going to take this back into life. You know, if every conversation, every interaction could be like a dyad, you know, where we actually witness people, we actually listen to people, without evaluating, just being present, you know, letting everything come through authentically. You know, to me, what a world that would be, you know, if we could do that. Yeah, what comes up for me is you know, that quote from Krishnamurti, you know, to be choicelessly aware, you know, without the evaluating mind is the highest intelligence. You know, that's it. Like, because we're not filtering it through our character, through the past. You know, we just see it new in the moment. You know, direct experience. So our plan was, I don't know if anybody wants to still do more dyads. I know Laura might, but you were saying that at one point. But so I'm going to leave the virtual Zendo here open, and if any, is there anyone who would like to continue? Yeah, Jeff. Laura, okay, awesome. So I'll just leave it open, and maybe Laura, I'll make you co-host, and then you can just manage the virtual Zendo and create breakout rooms. You're a pro at that, so that'd be awesome. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. So we'll let you know when the next session is, and yeah, love you guys.
Thank you so much, Dan and Lila. So much love. Yeah. Everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.